If you just joined, I'm here with Professor Behrens. We're actually talking about the impact of climate change on mainly our agricultural systems. Um, I don't know if you have ever thought about this, Paul, but you know the planetary boundaries kind of movement that's happening. And for those of you that are listening, planetary boundaries are literally when we push our system beyond the boundary that it can deal with everything that we need in order to survive. Paul, let's talk specifically about the UK. How 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 quickly do we need to turn these things around? Like how long do we have in the grand scheme of things if the trajectory of movement, because science is saying things are happening a lot quicker than we even imagined, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we look at the planetary boundaries, which is a great framework, so these are these different environmental pressures where if we exceed these boundaries, we reduce the ability to really provide what we need to live and thrive and survive on the planet.
Yeah.
And when we look across those planetary boundaries, the food system is the largest or the second largest driver of all of them. So if you think about land use change, biggest driver, biodiversity, biggest driver, water pollution, water use, biggest driver. If you look at climate change, it's the second biggest driver between 25% and 30%, depending on how
Wow.
you calculate things.
Yeah.
And we know that the food system on its own is enough to push us beyond 1.5 and potentially 2 degrees of warming, which, although sounds like small numbers, these are massive impacts on the ground. I mean, the extremes of climate change just get so much bigger.
Yeah.
Um, and so, in terms of how long we've got, you're exactly right. We've underestimated how fast climate change could impact us. And this has been a common sign. Everybody thinks, oh, the scientists, they're all, they're maybe too panicked, they're too worried. Actually, what the literature shows, and this is shown in the scientific literature, the peer-reviewed literature, is that there's been an underestimation because scientists are normally erring on the side of caution. They don't
Mm.
like to say these statements that are too big. And so, what we see, for example, in the climate change risk assessment that the UK government undertakes to look at the risks across the UK, in the 2021 version of that, it said that the chance of exceeding 40 degrees by 2040 was only 0.02%.
Whew.
And yet, in 2022, we exceeded it in rural and in urban areas.